Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Four Lads of the Dream. Just a little special by myself. Special podcast by a special, mentally special. Well, anyway, I'm here anyway, folks. I hope you all had a lovely day. It's roasting. It's ridiculous. That's another reason why this is going to be quite a short podcast. Because this room is absolutely roasting, and I can't have the fan on because when the fan's on, it'll be you won't be able to hear it. But anyway, welcome. Huge thanks to everybody that's watching and joining in. Rangers today announced the signing of Ross McCrorie from Bristol City, linking up once again with his old gaffer, Derek McInnes. Ross signs a 3-year deal with an option of one. He is the new number 2 at the football club, taking James Tavernier's number. So Ross is here, returned. We spoke about this the last couple of podcasts. He is officially here. The fee, first reported as £2 million on Rangers Review and on this channel as well. It's made up of an initial payment of 900,000 and a series of potential add-ons should Ross reach his capabilities, so to speak. Ross McCrorie spoke after the unveiling today. And he said, "I really enjoyed it down in England. It was a top league. But the only way I would have come back to Scotland was for Rangers. To get the opportunity was a dream come true, and I'm absolutely buzzing to get going. At the time, I had to leave for me to be part of my development. I had to go and experience something new, to play in a team and try to develop myself as a player and a character. It was a great experience and a great learning curve." Talking about coming back to the academy, they've all known me since I was a little kid. It's been a long time, but to see a lot of faces still here is amazing. I feel like it was only yesterday I left. It brings back a lot of memories. I just remember being in the indoor hall, me and all the boys from the youth team. As a kid, you grow up at Rangers. The characteristics we able to play at the club are installed in you from a young age. All about winning. You have got that winning mentality as a kid, and even back in the day, it was the same. It was Derek McInnes who actually signed McCrorie from Aberdeen, and what he said about him was, I remember the first time he signed me at a house out in East Kilbride and came out to my house, and it was him that persuaded me to go to Aberdeen. When you speak to the gaffer, he's a man that you would run through brick walls for. He's been a big influence in my career. He was the one that gave me the belief to go and have a crack on and unlock the talent I know I had. The gaffer is a bit old school as well, but you need that at times. You need that hard side because it's not easy to be a club like Rangers. The mentality needs to be there, especially this season. I've been frustrated as a fan watching in the last few years because I want to see the club win. That's why I'm back. I want to come and help win trophies. On taking the number 2 jersey, I'm really good friends with Tav. I played with him for a few years. He'd known me since a kid. I first broke in. I've got a lot of respect to him. He's a legend of the club. It's unbelievable for a fullback, his stats, goals and assists. For me, when I was coming back, it would have been, I have been number 2 for my previous clubs for the last 5 or 6 years. When I first broke through at Rangers, I was 40. And I phoned and asked the gaffer if I could take number 2 because that was my number and it's been my own for the last few years. So that's what Ross McCrorie had to say about. You can watch that full interview on the Rangers website. Rangers announced it about 3 o'clock. And McInnes says, "Ross is someone I signed for Aberdeen from Rangers. And at the time, he wanted to go out and prove himself, which I think says a lot for him. He's developed and improved as a player. He has got that added experience as a full international, and he knows the club inside out. In the conversations I've had with him, a lot of things I am saying are things he wants from the club as well. So he's determined and competitive boy on the pitch, and he's determined to bring good times back to the football club." So I have contributed. I have contacted my very good friend Kai Watson. We all want to go and follow Kai. Kai is very good with stats and everything else. So I'm going to read you what he says, assist-wise and stats-wise and everything else. Basically, what Kai says about him is that he ranks very well in goals and assists, key passes, cross accuracy, and dribbles per 90. Essentially, everything going forward. He's played right back and left back and has been effective in positions, so suits a back 4 or a back 3. The data suggests he's much closer to Tav's attacking output than many probably expected. That's interesting. So I'll tell you kind of So from 1,000 minutes played, he's kind of like his ratings and stuff are very high. And that's where Kai comes to that kind of what's that? It's not the right word. Solution's not the. He comes to that kind of suggestion that he's much closer to Tav's attacking output than anybody probably expected. Spoke a lot about Ross McCrorie signing and what it means to the football club. I think he said there that he would run through brick walls for the manager, and I think that's what you're going to get from Derek McInnes. I think you're going to get people who want to play for Derek McInnes, and you're going to get Derek McInnes is going to be old school. Even suggested that himself, Ross McCrorie. So there's a lot of it. To be happy about. I think Ross McCrorie is not a star signing. He's not this glamorous winger. Ross McCrorie will probably turn out to be one of the best signings of the summer, given the type of player he is. I've spoke long about Rangers not having the Broadfoots and the Stuart McCalls and the Alex Clelands and the unfashionable guys, the Kevin Thompsons of the world that are just consistently 7, 8 out of 10s. I think Ross McCrorie will be a very consistent 7, 8 out of 10 for Rangers, never really dropping below a 6. You're always going to get. Ross McCrorie is also a leader. He's at a good age, 28, where he knows the football club, he knows the expectations of winning, he knows exactly what's required. So for me, Ross McCrorie is a very steady signing. I think him and Dujon Sterling, that's your right back position sorted. He also brings the homegrown talent. He's obviously part of that European quota. So all in all, I think it's a very sensible signing. When you think about £900,000 for Ross McCrorie, I think that starts to sound a whole of a lot better than paying out potentially £2 million where people were grumping and moaning and everything else. For me, this has been a good deal. As I said, no disrespect to Ross, and I don't mean it to sound bad. It's not the star signing of the summer, is it? You're looking for that Mikey Moore or Lewis Ferguson or that unknown winger, the big star to come in and be the game changer. But what Ross will do is bring a very solid kind of resilience back into the football club and back into the team. So I'm glad he's back. And I hope, he's going to have got better as well. And I hope that he can add stuff. Ross McCrorie also as well, spoke about it a wee bit last night, will go straight into leadership group, I should imagine. He's got that desire to play for Rangers. He's got that ability to play for Rangers as well. So, no, all in all, I think it's quite a sensible one. The first of, when you think about Shankland and you think about Ross McCrorie, I think it's really sensible signings. Are they star signings and things like that? People can argue yes and no. I'm looking for people that understand what it was like, what's required to play for Rangers. I feel like they do. I also feel like there's still another 8 needed. I think we need a goalkeeper. We need cover at left back. We need a couple of centre halves. That's 4 already. We need a midfielder. We need a couple of wingers. So yeah, you're up at 7 or 8 there. So listen, I don't think there's any issues. Ross was at training today with the first team. He reported back along with a number of players and non-internationals. So yeah, they were all there. Pictured Roman, Sterling, Barron, and Ross was all pictured on the Rangers website. There's a lot more. So yeah, the players are back, and I think now it's time to get those signings in, to get players in the door, to get the friendlies organised, and get going. I don't think there's any time to waste. The backroom staff are all in place. The manager is here. Let's go and get them. They have been linked with a lot of players. Peyton Rice has been linked with left back. Dan Meal has been linked in midfield. There's been Lewis Ferguson, the one that refuses to go away. Mikey Moore, once again linked to come in on loan. So there's a lot of rumours and things happening about. Ross McCrorie rumour was going about for quite a while. We spoke about it previously on Four Lads. There's going to be a lot of incomings. I don't think we need to to kind of worry about who's been speculated, whether players are in or coming in or what they're doing or who's been linked, and people saying Dan Neil's off to Southampton. There you go. That's what I'm talking about with regards to people being linked and not getting too here nor there with regards to rumours and things like that. I think, Rangers are at a stage now. Let's get them in the door, get those signings. I don't think it's unreasonable, genuinely, to want a goalkeeper, to want a left back, to want a couple of centre backs. I think we need to change that midfield. I think we need a left and a right winger, and that, if we get Mikey Moore, then that'll be the left. I think up front, believe it or not, I think we're okay. I think Chermiti, Shankland, Miovski, and Nadiri are more than capable of firing us to where we want to be. What we need to do is provide a solid backline, because that defence and goalkeeper were shaky last year, and we need to provide people that are going to create those chances. We need to figure out what's coming on, or what's going to happen rather, with the likes of your Ant-Mans, your Bairamis, your Danilos and stuff like that. If they're going to leave, we need to move them out so that it makes more room for more to come in. So plenty of work for Rangers to be done. One player who continues to be linked with a move is Nico Raskin. Reported last night that Hull had bid 12 to 14 million for him. This seems like a quite a big range. I don't think that's been confirmed by any of our guys anywhere. But that was reported for Hull. Rangers said no to that straight away. Rangers looking for closer to £20 million according to those reports. I think that people have said a lot about Nico Raskin. I think if Rangers could get 20 million for Nico Raskin, I would be saying that it's the right thing to do. With 2 years left, £20 million for Nico, I think it's brilliant. Potentially brilliant if we could get that sort of money. Is he better than Hull City? People suggesting again in the comments that he maybe is. That's up to Nico to decide. Where Nico goes is up to Nico. Personally, I'm not sure if this is a true story or what it is. But if we're going to pay a couple of million for Nico, there'll be a sell on to Standard, I should imagine, as well. If we can profit in that kind of money, then yeah. And even if he doesn't go to Hull, that's the bidding being started and knocked back if this story is true. So if we can get all that done and get a bidding war for Nico, then I'd be quite happy. The thing is with Nico, I think Nico's a lot more than what he showed. He needs better players around him. He needs specialists to allow him to go and flourish. I think that for Nico, maybe it's the best time for him if we were to get a very decent offer. So it's one to watch. I think Nico will be a saga that kind of maybe rumbles on. He's at the World Cup. The better performances he can have there, then the better for us, because it will catch people's eyes. He's been linked with Bologna. He linked with Atalanta. Now Hull City. I think that Nico Raskin, maybe he's gone a wee bit stale last season with things that happened to him. Maybe he does need a challenge. Maybe he needs to fix it up. So, I'm not sure that we could turn down that type of money. If we're selling Nico Raskin for 20 million, and that's our kind of asking fee, I think that would be a fantastic deal for Rangers. Do I want to see Nico Raskin go? No, because I believe he's got a lot to offer the football club. I believe that with better players around him and doing more, he could be a fantastic player, like we've seen in the Rangers jersey before, but maybe not consistently enough. Moving on to the squad, I wouldn't be averse to a couple others leaving when you're talking about players that might not feature. Maybe your Ant-Mans and your Bairamis and your Danilo's not going to play. There'll be others in there as well. What we're going to do with Lyle Cameron, will he get a chance under Derek McInnes? I think he probably might, Tello Asgard's a bit of a unknown situation because he's undoubtedly talented. He made an impression in games last year. He scored and he assisted and things, but is he really suited to Scottish football? I'm not sure he is. So, listen, there's a lot to be done with our squad. I think it's going to be an exciting few weeks for us before we do go back at the end of July for that game at Dundee United. There's a lot of work to do for Rangers. There's a lot of things to consider, and there's a lot of potential transfers in and outs. So it's going to be an interesting few weeks. For me personally, thank you everybody that's joining. Again, up thousands watching on all platforms, which I really consider to be amazing. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Ross McCrorie has signed on a 3-year deal. That's the big news. Coming up on Four Lads, what's on later on? Davey's History Show, a week in history of Rangers, is back. Do tune into that. That's available for everybody to watch. Friday Night Pod, I'll be back and live as well. On Saturday, Heart and Health returns with David Edgar's story. So join Cheryl and James as they talk to David about his life with addiction and overcoming everything that he has. So that'll be Saturday. And then Sunday show's back. Monday, the Monday flagship back. So you've got a show every single night here on Four Lads. We hope that we provide quality for you. If you want to become a member, you can do for as little as 99p a month. You can click on the queue, the what's this thing called? Click on that thing up in the corner up there. I can't remember what it's called. If you click on that, you will get access to become a member from as little as 99 pence. And you get access to a little bit of extra shows. We currently extra show live on the Rangers years is Derek Parlane's story. We've got Mark Walters coming on a couple of weeks with David, so that'll be good as well. Thank you guys in the comments, the QR code. That's exactly what it is. That thing up there. Just if you want to come and be a member, you can. Big thanks to our sponsors, Rhino Express, Clyde Fire Protection and Joinery, CSD Air Conditioning. All of them will be leaving at the end of June. We will be hopefully welcoming in some new sponsors. If you want to sponsor Four Lads, you can at fourladsadadream@gmail.com. If you get in contact, that would be fabulous. And thanks to our long-standing sponsors, AFO Industrial, Candid, as well as our Sunday show, rydc.co.uk. People saying the other side, Stevie, it's the right side. It's the right side for me when I point. So it might not be the right way for you, but it is for me, and that's what can I do. Thanks to everybody in the comments as well. It's been difficult when you're on your own, just talking on your own. You want to go live so that people can watch, but I don't get the chance to get in comments and everything else. So thanks to all the regulars, all the members, and everybody else that joined in. I hope you enjoy the weather. Enjoy the football tonight. It was really disappointing in Scotland last night. Was it really going to go any other way? I'm not sure, but to lose in that manner and the mistakes that we made, it's difficult. It's difficult. Have we really approached that tournament the right way? If your approach is to get, small results and little victories and not get beat too much, I suppose we did. Why couldn't we have went and had a goal? Why would we try to play football against Brazil and stuff like that? I suppose there's lots of questions to be asked. Is Steve Clarke approaching these the right way? That's for other people to decide, not for me. As for me, Rangers, I'm looking forward to the next few weeks. I'm really happy with Ross McCrorie. I'm really happy with Lawrence Shankland and the first couple of what I believe is 8, 9, 10, hopefully, to come in. I think it's not a bad start. Derek McInnes is here. I'm delighted he's here. We covered that yesterday. There is a press conference. If you missed it and you want to catch up on it, is live available to watch as well. Thank you everybody that's joined me tonight. We impromptu podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. And yes, we'll speak to you all again soon. Check out the upcoming shows. There is one every single day on Four Lads, and the History Show with Davey Heard, a week in history for Rangers, is out later on this evening as well. So bye for now. Have a great evening. Lovely to speak to you all as well. Take care, and thanks very much, everyone.
The Four Lads podcast is sponsored by Rhino Express, Clydeview Joinery, Athol Industrial Solutions Limited, and CSD Air Conditioning, in partnership with Black Rooster and Art of Gold. Thank you for listening to or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show.